Hi, this is Esauce357, and I'm going to do a video on how to paint how I painted my pellet gun, the color I painted it, and just kind of the process I did, when painting it. Someone requested that, so I promised you I'd make you a video today, and here I am doing it. So, yeah, I guess I'll just get started and tell you about it. So, one thing, so this is the Crossman Storm XT. So the wood, if you don't have one, the wood, it comes very plain. It's very bare. It's just kind of like a walnut stock. It doesn't have any lacquer on there or any coatings really. So as far as sanding it down, I would say you do not have to do that. I didn't do it. I would think it'd probably be a waste of time if you started trying to sand it down, and you wouldn't really get any extra results or any quality once you're done just from sanding it. So you probably don't need to do that. Um, what I did, I just used like 3 coats of primer. So basically, the primer is just kind of like if you don't know, it's like white spray paint that's meant to protect, whatever you're doing. Don't use any coatings meant for like wood specifically. They'll probably be clear coats, and it's not what you want. What you want is the white primer. It's going to look like white spray paint. Maybe it should say protection or something like that on there. And just talk to the guy at the store. You'll probably know what you're looking for. So, but yeah, I would say definitely at least do 3 coats. What that's going to do is going to allow your colors not to like blend when they're drying. Also, it's going to keep the wood from coming underneath the colors, so it'll just look, it'll look painted and the wood won't be coming out. What do you call it? So yeah, make sure you let it dry after each coat of primer. It's probably going to take maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, depending on what kind of weather conditions you're doing it in, if you're doing it inside or outside. So make sure it's dry after every coat and let it dry like good, where you can touch it, nothing's coming off. What do you call it? And do that like 3 times. It'll probably take you the whole day. You probably have to leave it overnight to get the third coat to dry. So yeah, other than that, after you do that, you want to, or before you do that, any painting whatsoever, you want to tape up all these metal parts. You want to make sure that scope it comes with is off. You want to have the optics on there. Tape this all up with masking tape, painter's tape. I use Scotch tape and I absolutely regret it. And you can see like right here, on this part right here, it ruined it. This part right here is because of the Scotch tape. This right here on the barrel, that is because Scotch tape. So you don't want to use Scotch tape. You want to use actual painter's tape or masking tape. And so, and you can pick that up anywhere, pretty much any, like Home Depot, Lowe's, Harbor Freight, any hardware store pretty much will have that kind of paint or tape for you. So, after you get your base layers on there of the primer, you want to have at least 3, remember, and you're all taped up beforehand as well. You want to start your colors and stuff, and you pick whatever colors you want. I picked black, like an olive drab, and a brown, and it came out good. I kind of just there's no really like clear, concise way to paint on there. You kind of just do like one stroke, one stroke, one stroke, and just keep playing with it and switch out the cans as you're doing it. Don't just do brown, brown, brown all over the rifle and then green. Do brown halfway maybe, and then do some green. Just mix it up. As far as colors, it doesn't matter what color you use. The primer, that's what the primer is for, is that it'll stop the wood from showing up after you're painting over it with the colors you want. So it's going to look good no matter how light or how dark the color is that you're using or whatever. So that's for that. I wouldn't worry about it. For if you want to stencil your rifle, like this right here, I kind of half-assed did this. I mean, I didn't really do it on the whole gun because it was kind of like an afterthought. So, but basically, I just grabbed the leaves, put it over the rifle, sprayed the leaves, and it comes out like this. You can use, like if you want to do a digital camo, you can cut out a stencil out of like cardstock, and that'll definitely do the trick. And you can, or multicam, whatever. There's stencils online for free that you can print out and cut out, and just put it over the gun and spray, and it'll come out how you want, the pattern you wanted it to. Other than that, there's not much to it, but I can't stress enough how important it is to tape the vital areas. Even if you're going to use the scope on it, you want to tape up your iron sights, or these are fiber optics, but you know what I mean. The iron sights, the rear sight, and the front sights. And that's extremely important. All the metal is extremely important to tape up. You want to make sure you get the spring part in here. That's really hard to do. You kind of just have to play with it. Make sure you get the trigger guard, the trigger, and the safety right here. That's important because you want your stuff to work afterward. If the paint clogs that up, you're going to be screwed, and you know, your gun's not going to work. Make sure you also cover all the screws. Look for any screws. Make sure you cover those with tape as best as you can, because if you ever have to break down the rifle, paint gets in there, that's going to be really, really hard. Also, don't break your rifle, like break the barrel when you're doing this. It's not going to help. I tried that. Another quick tip, I would say don't spray too close to the gun if you're not used to using spray paint. See right there? You can see that? That is all because of me spraying too close. So, yeah. As far as the the finish, it is completely, well, it's held up pretty well. I've dragged this thing to the dirt, thrown it on the floor, and it's taken a pretty good beat, and it has some marks. Like this right here actually wasn't from falling. That was just because I rested it on newspaper like an idiot. That's another thing. Find like a good piece of wood. Maybe wood's probably the best thing to rest it on, because wood won't stick to the paint and the gun. Paper, you know, any kind of like tarps or anything, that's just gonna suck. It's gonna screw up your paint job, as evidenced right there. So. You can see the handle's kind of worn down a little bit. That's just from wearing rough gloves and handling it. You can see here a little bit on the stock, it's come down. This is probably the worst part right here, was just up front. And that's just from getting it banged around. I mean, if you're not going to be really rolling around in the dirt with your rifle playing army in the backyard, you should be fine. It should hold up just fine. That's kind of it for this. Just make sure you do your base layers right, which is probably the most important part. Make sure you tape up, it's also the second most important part. And then get creative with it. Go online, find camo patterns that you like, try to experiment on a piece of plywood or something, or a piece of paper, and then that way you know what you want on your gun. Also play around with the stencils. The stencils are very cool, make it really cool. That's one regret I have with this gun, is not doing more of the leaves. It really looks cool on this side, and I didn't do it on the other side. So, other than that, that's kind of it. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So I hope this helped you. Just to show you guys real quick, I have another video on this gun showing the paint job, but it's older, so the quality is not as good. Let me show you guys that. And the barrel there. Now, once you put a scope on this, it's pretty sick looking. Okay, there you guys go. I really hope this helped you. Yeah, so like the video if it did. You know, really glad if it does. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you. Thanks for watching.